Hello, welcome to Shadow-Heir, a trustless privacy-preserving Bitcoin inheritance protocol combining Bitcoin covenants with Starknet commitments. So, have you ever wondered what will happen to my funds if I die suddenly or disappear one day? Well, that's what Shadow is here for. It's a trustless and private privacy wheel protocol in which owner locks their BTC in a taproot covenant, registers a will on Starknet, and the heir identity is hidden until it is claimed by the heir itself. Deadman switch. If the owner stops checking in, the heir proves his identity and claims the inheritance without any intermediaries. Okay, so every year until now, we have seen that 140 billion Bitcoin is estimated to be permanently lost. Many owners died without transferring their assets, or they have just simply disappeared. There is also the factor of trust and privacy. Existing solutions force trust in third parties or reveal their heir identity on chain at the setup, which can create a dangerous issue for your heirs. No native primitive. There is no trustless, private, on-chain inheritance primitive for Bitcoin today. So that's what Shadow-Heir is here to solve. Okay, so what we do is the owner will lock their funds in the Bitcoin Taproot covenant address. Then they will register a will, and the will have a pseudo hash which contain the heir's public key and a salt, and that will be stored on Starknet. And the only pseudo Poseidon hash will be stored, which will keep the heir's identity hidden. Then the owner will periodically check in to reset the countdown, also renew the UTXO age on the Bitcoin. And when the owner disappears or if the owner dies, the liveliness check fails. The heir can reveal their identity using using their public key and the salt they have used while generating the Poseidon hash. This will prove that they are the heir and broadcast on the network itself, and they will be able to claim their inheritance. Okay, as for the architecture of the Shadow-Heir project, the Starknet will registry store the commitments and the liveliness. The Bitcoin signet holds the taproot covenant UTXO. In the will registry, the owner will be calling the will data, which will have the heir's commitment, last check-in point, and the check-in interval and the status. This will data is used for checking all the details like who the will the heir's address and their commitment, when was the last time when the owner checked in, and the remaining check-in interval, and the status of the will itself. The big Bitcoin signet covenant, the taproot address with the heir CSV leaf and the renewable opcat leaf to enforce relocking. How it works: the owner and heir exchange heir public key and salt out of band. The owner creates a taproot covenant and funds it on signet. The owner calls create will with the heir commitment and interval and Bitcoin covenant transaction ID. The liveliness and claim, the owner calls in the check-in periodically, broadcasts the renewal transaction to reset the UTXOH. If the deadline passes, the heir calls claim will contract the this will this will set up the action to verify the Poseidon hash, which will check if the heir's claims are true or not. The heir broadcasts the CSV spent once the confirmation permits and collects the BTC. Privacy design. the setup and visibility. The heir's identity is stored as Poseidon hash, which is computationally irreversible, hidden on chain at setup. During the liveliness, the heir remains hidden. No leakage. There is no leakage of information until the heir tries to claim their inheritance. At the claim, the heir submits the public key and salt, which is known only to the owner of the will and the heir themselves, and is revealed only at the claim moment. The Bitcoin balance remains standard UTXO. Okay, as for the Bitcoin governance technicals, the taproot structure have two leaves. In the internal key, the owner only public leaf. The leaf 0, the heir spent, it contains the heir spent with the CSV plus the heir public key, and the leaf 1 contains the renewable using the opcat style output introspection to enforce relocking. This ensures that the owner will not be draining their account for renewal of the uh, will after each check in, and it will be able to check on only a specific address itself. And the starknet con- the starknet contract contains a few key functions, which are the create will, check in, claim will, cancel will, is claimable, settings until claimable functions, which are really important for the shadow functionality. Commitments are verified via the Poseidon hash on chain and in the front end itself. As for the track eligibility, the Shadow-Heir is eligible for the Bitcoin track, privacy track, and as well as the wildcard track. Why this project is actually a game changer? Because there is no third party involved. It is privacy by default, because the heir isn't revealed at the whole duration of the will, and it is only revealed at when the heir tries to the claim, uh, claim the will itself. Bitcoin native. Bitcoin never moves to Starknet, and Starknet only stores the will record linked by the transaction ID on the Bitcoin. Covenant enforcement. Renewable cannot redirect funds. Owner cannot drain inheritance without cancelling the will. Cross chain without bridge. Link via shared transaction ID reference. Avoid risk. Avoid bridging risk. Okay, let's move to the demo.
Let's do a live demo of Shadow-Heir. On the create page, first connect wallet, I'll use Bravos. Step 2, fill in the parameters, pasting the owner's Bitcoin public key and the S public key. Setting the check-in time interval to 1 day for testing. Salt is auto-generated. Now generating the covenant address. There's our taproot address. I'll copy it and head to Signet Faucet to fund it. Pasting the address, requesting coins success. Requesting a second time to add more funds. Coins are on the way. Checking mempool.space. Both the transactions are showing up. Funds received. Now back in the app, step 4 is the funding the transaction ID. After copying the transaction ID, I'll fund it. I'll paste it. From here, let's copy. Yes. And let's paste it here. Now, here's the summary of everything. Owner heir commitment, interval, Bitcoin transaction ID. Now let's hit on register will. Bravos asks to confirm. Sending. Let's sign the transaction. And sending. And it's done. The will is registered. It's active on Starknet Sepolia. Let me verify the block. Let me confirm it on Voyager. Their commitment, check-in interval, and Bitcoin. Yeah, it's done. Now the manage page. Here, let's connect a wallet. Here it is. The wheel is active. Countdown shows 24 hours until claimable. Doing a check-in. Clicking check-in now. Confirming in browse. Once the transaction confirms, as you can see, the timer resets. The transaction confirmed and the timer resets. Below there is a Bitcoin UTXO section for relinking after renewable spends. Finally, the claim page. This is what Heir sees. They enter the owner's address and look up the will. Once the deadline passes, they can claim. So that's the full flow. Thank you.